Imagine sipping your morning coffee from a cup designed using formulas written over 2,000 years ago, or navigating to a distant city with tools derived from celestial maps carved by ancient astronomers. What if I told you that some of the technologies and conveniences we take for granted today are tethered to discoveries buried for centuries? In the next 10 minutes, we'll unravel the astonishing ripple effect of ancient breakthroughs that still shape our world. Secrets hidden in dusty scrolls, forgotten blueprints, and artifacts locked away beneath layers of earth. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you'll see everyday modern life through an entirely new lens. Here's the mystery. Countless monumental feats of the modern era, concrete skyscrapers, life-saving medical interventions, even GPS navigation, trace their lineage to ancient minds we often dismiss as primitive. How did these early scholars, engineers and healers lay down principles that echo in our steel and glass towers, our hospitals, and the satellites orbiting above? Archaeologists and historians keep uncovering fragments, scrolls inscribed with cryptic formulas, meticulous blueprints etched into stone walls, and even recipes for early antibiotics. But the connections between then and now aren't always obvious. For centuries, many discoveries were lost, mislabeled, or dismissed as folklore, only to resurface when some modern challenge demanded a solution. Over the next chapters, you'll see exactly how a single ancient insight can evolve into the backbone of a multi-billion-dollar industry. One of the most tangible examples is Roman concrete. Around 2,000 years ago, Roman masons mixed volcanic ash with lime and seawater, producing a substance that grew stronger over time, often called opus caementitium. Unlike modern Portland cement, this recipe created self-healing compounds, cracks filled with mineral deposits drawn from seawater, reacting with volcanic ash. For centuries, scholars thought the Romans' recipe was a one-off accident. But in the 21st century, engineers studying coastal pylons in the Mediterranean discovered that Roman harbors from 150 BCE still stand sturdy. Inspired by this durability, researchers have reverse-engineered the composition to develop eco-friendly, carbon-sequestering concretes, offering a blueprint to cut CO2 emissions by up to 4%. Your favorite bridge or energy plant might soon be built with formulations inspired by Roman ingenuity, improving longevity while slashing environmental impact. Now let's delve into medicine. We often credit Alexander Fleming's 1928 discovery of penicillin as the dawn of antibiotics. But in 2015, a medieval manuscript from 9th century Mesopotamia detailed a recipe for an ear infection remedy combining garlic, onion, and cow bile. Ingredients that, when tested, killed strains of bacteria resistant to modern antibiotics. Researchers traced this recipe back to even older Babylonian clay tablets, revealing that healers had empirically discovered antibacterial properties long before the lab. This ancient concoction doesn't replace modern penicillin, but it sparked a broader reevaluation of ancient pharmacopoeias. Pharmaceutical chemists are now systematically screening these old formulas for new bioactive compounds. Who knows? The next line of defense against a deadly superbug might be hidden on a crumbling clay tablet waiting to be deciphered. Ever wonder how we lock onto satellites to pinpoint our location within meters? It might surprise you that star-based navigation, arguably one of humanity's earliest GPS systems, inspired the algorithm satellites use today. Polynesian navigators crossed entire oceans by reading star positions in swells, while in ancient Greece, Hipparchus cataloged hundreds of stars to predict lunar positions. Fast forward to the mid-20th century, engineers building the first satellite navigation prototypes consulted these ancient ephemerides to validate their orbital mechanics calculations. Today's GPS, with its constellation of 24 satellites, still relies on spherical trigonometry first formalized by Hipparchus. So next time you order a rideshare or find the fastest route home, thank ancient astronomers who laid the groundwork for tracking global coordinates. Water, the essence of life. In 312 BCE, Romans engineered aqueducts spanning dozens of miles, using gravity and precise elevation data to deliver fresh water to cities. They charted gradients with primitive surveying tools, groma rods and chorobates, to within fractions of a degree. Those surveying principles underpin modern fluid dynamics in civil engineering. In the 1990s, when droughts plagued California, civil engineers dusted off Roman methods to redesign reservoir inflow models. Nowadays, smart water grids incorporate remote sensors and AI-driven flow predictions, but the fundamental concept, transporting water by gravitational force while minimizing turbulence, echoes ancient practices. Without those Blue Age blueprints, our megacities might still struggle to quench the thirst of millions. When you calculate compound interest on your savings or run a complex simulation on your laptop, you're leveraging mathematical conventions from ancient civilizations. The concept of zero, so crucial to positional notation, originated in India between the 5th and 7th centuries CE. Al-Khwarizmi's 9th century treatise on algebra, Al-Kitab al-Mukhtasar, fi Hisab al-Jabr wal-Muqabala, introduced systematic equation-solving methods. By the 12th century, these ideas traveled to Europe, igniting the renaissance of mathematics and commerce. Today's computer algorithms, Boolean logic, binary systems, owe their lineage to these foundational breakthroughs. Even your smartphone's processor, computing trillions of operations per second, traces its logic gates back to the notion that nothing can be represented as a number. It's the silent hero behind digital everything. We often hail Gutenberg's printing press of the 1450s as the dawn of mass communication. Yet, in 7th century China, artisans perfected woodblock printing, carving entire pages of text into wooden blocks, applying ink, and stamping paper. By the Song dynasty, they were printing thousands of identical volumes of Buddhist sutras. Those early methods taught Europeans about movable type and page composition. Fast forward to the 21st century's 3D printing revolution, the concept of layer-by-layer replication mirrors block printing's inherent modularity. Fab labs around the world now riff on that modular blueprint to produce prosthetic limbs, automotive parts, and architectural models, digital descendants of wooden blocks stacked in ink. The next time you swipe pages on an e-reader, remember that the soul of mass reproduction was born in a small Chinese workshop over a millennium ago. By now, you've seen how individual discoveries, concrete formulas, medical recipes, star charts, evolved into modern marvels. But here's the twist. These breakthroughs didn't exist in isolation. Ancient scholars traded insights along the Silk Road, in bustling bazaars from Chang'an to Constantinople. A Greek mathematician's treatise ended up in an Arabian scribe's hands who translated and expanded it, eventually reaching Europe centuries later. That transcontinental feedback loop of knowledge functioned like a pre-digital internet. And today's global research consortiums, peer-reviewed journals, and open-source platforms are nothing more than a hyper-accelerated reincarnation of that ancient network. Your smartphone's map app, your MRI scan, your eco-concrete beams, they all ride atop a continuum of collective human ingenuity, spanning millennia. The real revelation is that the distance between us and those ancients is shorter than you think. So, the next time you look at a soaring tower, send a text to a friend halfway around the world, or take medicine that halts an infection, remember, these achievements rest on foundations laid by civilizations long gone. We are the latest link in an unbroken chain of discovery. By honoring those ancient insights, we not only preserve our past, but empower our future. If you have enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, and watch more videos from our channel. Thank you for watching.